Pubs are closing at a phenomenal rate. The figures released by the BBPA last year were 36 pubs a week closing. This will rise dramatically during 2009. Sales of beer in pubs is also in decline. The Great British Pub is part of Britain's history, heritage and culture. It is renowned globally for its uniqueness, with many countries trying to emulate this. The Great British Pub has survived all adversities for hundreds of years and has remained a social hub for many communities, and yet it is being systematically destroyed. One has to wonder why this is so. Pubs are being held accountable for the effects of binge drinking, underage drinking and alcohol-fueled violence, and yet, quite rightly, pubs are one of the most tightly regulated industries. Alcohol is consumed in a controlled environment. As supermarkets sell alcohol at greatly reduced prices with no control over consumption, surely they must be accountable for some of the problems associated with alcohol. For example, if a pub sold 40 shots of spirit, 1 litre, for consumption by one person, they would be held accountable for the consequences of their actions. However, if a supermarket did the same, they would not be accountable. The cost of this pub would be roughly £64, at the supermarket between £10 and £15. Seems somewhat unfair, does it not? Then we have the smoking ban. I am sure that everybody is aware of the detrimental effects of smoking, and yet it is still illegal activity. This government have decided in their infinite wisdom to ban illegal activity on private property. How about some fairness from the government? If smoking and second-hand smoke is so bad, then why does it remain illegal activity? Could it have anything to do with the revenue that the government secure from the sale of tobacco? If only pubs had the right to decide that smoking could be allowed, because it is after all illegal activity and the pubs need the revenue it secures in order to aid survival. This government appear hell-bent on destroying the Great British Pub. They are strangling it with red tape and legislation, crippling it with the smoking ban, and then loaded the gun with tax increases to finally finish it off. Why? What could possibly be the thought process behind this? More and more people are consuming reduced priced alcohol in uncontrolled environments. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that without control, all the ill effects that the government are trying to remove will only escalate. The credit crunch of last year had a huge impact on the Great British Pub. Obviously this was going to happen. The pub falls into the expendable income bracket. If expendable income reduces, then the trades which rely on this will suffer. The credit crunch is now a recession, and the word depression is starting to raise its ugly head. Some have realised that we have not yet reached the eye of the storm. To survive, pubs have to be competitive. Wetherspoons, amongst others, have the insight to realise this. It has been in the press recently that JDW are selling pints of IPA for 99p a pint. The chief executive, John Hutton, told one of the trade papers that there's some profit for JDW at this price. JDW owns 718 pubs. So that is the perfect storm for the trade as a whole. However, there is also a huge internal battle going on which beggars belief.